You've probably been hearing the term superflu thrown around a lot lately, and for good reason. The 2025 to 2026 flu season has been a real monster. But what's actually going on behind all the headlines? Well, that's what we're going to break down right here. The science of this new flu strain, why the vaccine is more important than ever, and what it all means for the next few months. Hit by a truck. That's the phrase clinicians keep hearing, and it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? This isn't some cold that kind of creeps up on you over a few days. No, this thing hits you suddenly and it hits you hard. We're talking a massive fever, brutal body aches, and a level of exhaustion that's just off the charts. That intensity, that's where it got its nickname. All right, so let's meet the villain of our story. The virus causing all this chaos is a new version of an old enemy, Influenza A H3N2. To be specific, scientists have given this new variant a name, Subclade K. So where did this thing come from? Its story starts down in Australia and New Zealand. Late in their flu season, this new version of the H3N2 virus just popped up. And it started spreading with incredible speed, creating this long tail of infections that basically acted as a launch pad, sending Subclade K all across the globe, right as winter was kicking off in the Northern Hemisphere. So how did this happen? It's all because of a process called antigenic drift. Now, this isn't some massive pandemic-level shift where the virus is totally new. Think of it more like the virus put on a clever disguise. It's made these tiny little changes to its surface proteins, just enough so that our immune systems have a really hard time recognizing and stopping it. And here's a look at what's happening on a molecular level. Scientists have zeroed in on two key mutations, T135K and K189R, that actually change the shape of the virus's surface. A good way to think about it is like a spy changing their coat and hat to sneak past a security guard. In this case, our antibodies from past infections or the vaccine are the security guards. And that change in disguise, well, it leads us to the central problem of this entire season, a vaccine mismatch. Now, it's not that the vaccine is wrong exactly. It's more like the virus pulled a fast one on us, and it all comes down to timing. This timeline just lays the problem out perfectly. See, the strains for the flu vaccine have to be picked way back in February and March. It takes months and months to manufacture them. Back then, a totally different strain, Subclade J, was the big threat. But our new villain, Subclade K, didn't even show up until August, long after the vaccine factories were already churning. The virus just evolved faster than our production schedule could ever handle. A really great way to picture this is the lock-and-key problem. The vaccine basically gives our immune system the perfect key for the Subclade J lock. But the virus that's actually out there now, Subclade K, went and changed the lock, so the old key doesn't fit perfectly anymore. But, and this is super important, it's not useless. It can still jiggle the lock a bit, slow the intruder down, and as we're about to see, that makes a world of difference. So how does all of this, the drift, the mismatch, lead back to that hit by a truck feeling we talked about? Let's take a look at why this particular flu feels so uniquely awful. You see, that feeling isn't just the virus itself. A huge part of it is our own body's reaction to it. Because our antibodies can't stop the virus efficiently at the front door, it starts replicating like crazy. This triggers a massive, panicked release of inflammatory signals called cytokines. It's the cytokine storm that causes the sky-high fevers, the crazy aches, and that bone-deep fatigue. And here's a really crucial point, especially for families. This flu doesn't look the same in everyone. This table breaks it all down. For kids, you might see a lot more stomach issues, vomiting, diarrhea. For most adults, it's those classic killer body aches. But look at the elderly. A high fever might be completely absent. The very first sign could be sudden confusion or delirium. Knowing these differences is absolutely key to getting people the right care fast. Okay, so if the vaccine is mismatched, you might be thinking, why even bother? Well, the data says you absolutely should. And this is the real twist in the story. The vaccine has a hidden superpower that is, without a doubt, saving lives. Here's the deal. Your immune system has two main branches. Think of your antibodies as the shield. They're supposed to block the infection before it even starts. But the vaccine also trains your T cells. And your T cells are like the immune system's infantry. It's ground troops. Their job is to hunt down and destroy cells that are already infected. And because they target parts of the virus that haven't changed, they are still incredibly effective at clearing out the infection and stopping it from getting really bad. In this chart, wow, this shows you the real-world power of those T cells. The vaccine is proving to be amazingly effective at preventing the one thing that matters most, ending up in the hospital. I mean, look at this. It's preventing 70 to 75% of hospitalizations in kids. Even for adults and the elderly, it is seriously cutting the risk of severe illness. The vaccine is literally the difference between a miserable week on the couch and a life-threatening stay in the ICU. But all of this amazing science, this powerful vaccine, it runs headfirst into a very human problem. And that problem is summed up by this one single number: 47%. That's it. That's the percentage of adults in the US who actually got their flu shot this season. And this is what's creating the perfect storm. You've got a tough, sneaky virus hitting a population with really low levels of protection. We just don't have that community-wide immune break to slow it down. And that's why Subclade K is spreading so fast and causing so much trouble. Okay, so we know vaccination is our best shield. But what happens if you do get sick? The good news is we have an armed resistance ready to go. Our medical toolkit is strong. And here's the best news. Those mutations that help Subclade K dodge our antibodies, they do absolutely nothing to protect it from our main antiviral drugs. Both Tamiflu and the newer single-dose option, Xofluza, work perfectly against this strain. This is a huge, huge relief. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. These drugs work best when you start them fast. That 48-hour window is everything. So if you get that sudden hit by a truck feeling, don't wait. Get tested right away. If it's positive for flu, especially if you're in a high-risk group, you need to start treatment immediately. It can shorten the illness and, most importantly, prevent serious complications. All right, last thing. We have to zoom out and look at how this superflu fits into the bigger picture. Because it's not the only virus out there, and its dominance right now is having a really strange and temporary effect on everything else. It's this really fascinating biological process called viral interference. Basically, when a virus like this H3N2 strain just tears through a population, it puts everyone's immune systems on high alert. This widespread immune activation creates a kind of temporary antiviral shield that makes it much harder for other viruses, like COVID-19, to get started. In a weird way, the flu is actually crowding out COVID right now. But here's the kicker. This shield is temporary. It only lasts as long as the flu season is raging. As flu cases start to drop off in the early months of 2026, that population-wide immune alert is going to stand down. The shield will drop. And that brings us to our final and really critical question. As the flu's protective shadow fades away, could it be opening the door for a big resurgence of other respiratory viruses? It's a real possibility that public health officials are watching very closely. And it's a stark reminder that in the world of viruses, the landscape is always shifting. One season's crisis can absolutely set the stage for the next.